Hey y'all, it's Jasmine, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm all about creating movement with accessibility in my flows here. Today, we're going to have a practice all about high energy. What's really neat about this practice is that it's a repetition flow. We're just going to build by adding a new move with each flow or block. So, what's really helpful and what's really neat about those type of flows, it's a moving meditation for me. So as I'm moving and grooving, it really helps my mind be very clear. So not only will this practice bring very high energy, but it's also going to be really great for you if your mind has been a little scattered today or anytime this week. This is really going to kind of help you settle into your body and just really move with intention, but also give yourself some clarity. So I really hope if you ever feel a little bit anxious or your mind is all over the place, come back to this flow. I think it's going to be really, really awesome. Make sure you grab some water because we will be moving through a lot of vinyasa. So, a lot of chaturanga here. And then also, if you have blocks today, make sure that you are bringing them to your practice. I'm still waiting for a name, y'all. I've been thinking about some, but I really want to get your thought of naming my blocks. I'm thinking Daisy and Peach. I don't know. I definitely want to play Mario Kart after this practice here. So let's get started. I'm just going to remove my bolster and put it over here for later. And then let's get to it. Actually, I'm going to put it back here. It's so pretty and pink. So we're going to begin in an easy sit-it pose here. And I'm actually going to have my legs out today. If you like, you can sit in a cross, easy sit-it pose with your leg cross, whichever feels most comfortable for you. But today I'm just going to actually have my legs straight forward. So let's get started here. One hand on your chest, one hand on your belly here. And take a couple of deep breaths. In this moment here, I just would like for us to set an intention again for today's practice. My intention is to move with high energy. I believe after this practice, I'm going to be able to conquer the world. Okay. That's how I'm feeling in this moment. So I'm going to go quiet for a little moment and let you set your intention. Take one more deep breath. Exhale through your mouth. And if your eyes have been closed, feel free to open them as we get started with our flow today. Inhale, arms up, and then we're going to twist to our right here. As we twist to the right, see if you could breathe a little deeper and twist a little bit deeper. So, with each inhalation and exhalation, see if you can twist a little bit deeper here as you look over your shoulder. If this feels a little uncomfortable for you, maybe grab your blocks. See if you can bring the earth a little bit closer to you here, and the twist isn't so harmful to your body. Inhale, hands up, and then exhale. We're going to repeat on the opposite side here. Again, with each breath, see if you can twist a little bit deeper as you look over your shoulder here. Inhale, arms up, and let's twist one more time. We're going to do a lot of twisting today in today's practice. Getting our bodies ready or primed. Inhale, arms up, and then we're going to twist open again to our left side here. All right. So meet me in tabletop position as we start our cat cow here. So again, as I like to always check with my alignment, you want to make sure that your shoulders are over your wrist here, and then also your hips over your knees. So just thinking about our alignment, because we always want to make sure that we are centering our practice around our body and listening to it here. So in our cat cow position, we're going to lower our belly here and then open up our chest, eyebrows. You're looking up towards your eyebrows here in your cow pose. And then cat, we're going to round our spine. So bringing your belly button upward here, rounding your back. And then exhale, lowering your belly here, looking up towards your eyebrows. Exhale, round your spine here. Belly button's in for cat. And then feel free to do a couple of rounds of cat cow on your own. Getting creative if you like to add some movement, some fluidity to your practice. Always tapping into your breath. Return to a neutral spine in your last round of your cat cow here. And then we're going to do a thread to needle. So again, we're doing a lot of twisting today. So with your right hand here, if you can lift it off the mat and bend your elbow here, and then place it down. And then we're going to take our right arm and then bend at our elbow, open up. And then we're going to take your right hand here and you're going to bring it under your left hand with your right shoulder, the back of it, laying on your mat here. And then you can take your left hand here to create some more space towards the top of your mat. And then we're breathing into this pose. Pushing yourself up with your left hand. Let's repeat on the opposite side. So you're going to take your left hand here and bend your elbow and then bring it down. And then take your left arm again and then opening all the way up and then threading under your right arm. Raising your right arm towards the top of your mat here for thread the needle on your opposite side. And take a couple of deep breaths. Pressing yourself up with your right hand here. I like to tap into some hip circles, which are some of my favorite here, just always adding some movement. We're bringing high energy to today's practice. So this is my little ode to myself here. So wanted to kind of talk you through this. Imagine that you have a marker or a pen in your belly button, and your goal is to draw little circles on your mat, an imaginary circle with your belly button. So you're adding some fluidity to your hips here, some movement. And these circles could be as big or as small as you like. Let's do a couple of more in this direction here, our nice circles. And then at the top, move into the opposite direction. And to know that each side may feel different. These circles always feel like ovals to me, or little squiggly line circles, which is totally fine. All circles are good circles. Alrighty. And then return back to a neutral tabletop position here. Untuck your toes and then push your hips back and up for our first downward dog of today. And feel free to have a nice bend in your knees if that feels comfortable for you. pushing away from the earth. So not kind of flopping into it, but pushing away from the earth here. And feel free to add movement to your dog by pedaling out your feet here. And then find some stillness. And I'm really feeling this downward dog today. I did a total body workout and I upped my weights. I'm a strong girl and I can feel it in my arms. So this is definitely a challenging pose for me today. Inhale, look forward. Feel free to widen your stance here as we walk to the top of your mat and into a forward fold. Knees could be bent, arms could be reaching towards the ground, or you can hold your elbows here, whatever feels comfortable for you in this pose. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders away from your ears, lowering down to a forward fold. And from your forward fold, root to rise, pressing into all four corners. Inhale, sweeping your hands up. And then I'm just going to step back into the center of my mat here, still with my arms raised. And then I'm going to open up to the right side of my mat here. Again, doing a lot of twisting, getting us ready for today's flow. Sweeping your arms up and then opening to our opposite side here. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, open up to your right side again. And then inhale, sweeping your hands up, and then opening up to our opposite side here. Opening up, and then inhale, arms up, bringing your hands together, and then bringing it down to your heart here. Let's flow. So, before we get started today, I really want to ensure that you got some water, you got your blocks. We're going to be moving today. So, at any time, if you're like, I need a break, girl, I need to sit down, please, I always encourage you to return to a pose that you can rest in. Typically, for me, that's child's pose. I'm usually sitting there in class if I'm like, whew. Hold on, girl. You're trying to do something today. So I really just wanted to kind of privy that information to you, but let's get started. So beginning at the top of our mat here, we're going to inhale our hands up and then going to reach down to a forward fold, stepping back to downward dog. Inhale, sweeping your right leg up and then step into a high lunge here. Twisting open to your right side. Inhale, hands up, and then bring it down to a vinyasa here. So I'm going to show this vinyasa from our knees here, so a supportive vinyasa. So we're here in this neutral tabletop position. You're going to reach your crown forward or your head, and then lower down to your stomach or your front side. And then inhale, you can do a low cobra. Or you can inhale and do a high cobra. Or you can inhale and then do up dog, where your thighs are off the mat. And then exhale down. So choosing whichever preference for you. And then we're going to push into our plank pose and then back to a downward dog. So that is an option for you. So let's try it. Inhale, sweeping your left leg up. Stepping in to a high lunge. Open up to your left side here. Hands up, chaturanga. Support it. Lowering down to your front side. Inhale, cobra. Downward dog. All right, let's keep going. We're going to add an additional asana or pose. Inhale, sweeping your right leg up. Stepping up to a high lunge. Twist open to your right. Open up to warrior two. Check in the alignment. Heel arch alignment here. And we're always breathing here. And then cartwheel to chaturanga. Full or supported. Inhale, cobra. Plank, downward dog. Sweeping your left leg up. High lunge. Open up to your left. Warrior two. Cartwheel to chaturanga. Cobra to downward dog. All right, we're going to add in an additional move. Inhale, sweeping your right leg up. Stepping into a high lunge. Open up to your right. Open up to warrior two. Placing your right hand on your thigh, sweeping up for an extended side angle here. Back to warrior two. Chaturanga. Cobra up dog. Downward dog. Inhale, sweeping your left leg up. Step into a high lunge. Open up to your left side. Warrior two. Extended side angle. Back to warrior two. Cartwheel to chaturanga. Lower to cobra up dog. To downward dog. All right, it's our last round here. Whew. Inhale, sweeping your right leg up. Stepping into your high lunge. Open up to your right side. Open to warrior two. Extended side angle. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reverse triangle. Sweeping your right hand over your head here. And then cartwheel to chaturanga. Cobra up dog. Downward dog. Sweeping your left leg up. Step into a high lunge. Open up to your left. Open up to warrior two. Extended side angle. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Bringing your left hand over your head for a reverse warrior here. Chaturanga. Cobra up dog. Downward dog. Whew. And from here, we're just going to do this flow, the full shebang one more time, just to bring that energy. Sweeping your right leg up. Step into high lunge. Open up to your right. Warrior two. Extended side angle. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reverse warrior. Chaturanga. Cobra up dog. downward dog. Sweeping your left leg up, stepping into high lunge. Open up to your left, open up to warrior two. Straighten your leg, reverse triangle, chaturanga, up dog. And from here, we're gonna go straight into child's pose. So take your big toes together, sitting your hips back. We're resting here. Whew. That is movement to my ears. Definitely bringing the energy today as we rest into child's pose and reflect on that practice. How do you feel? Inhale, looking upward. And from here, we're going to return to a tabletop position. And then just move our bodies here. So whatever feels natural for you, if that's cat-cow, if that's hip circles, just tapping into how your body feels right now. And then return to a neutral tabletop position, pushing away from the earth here. And then we're going to swing our legs in front of us here as we prep for our Shavasana. I'm going to actually bring my bolster and bring a little comfort or a little restorative to my practice today. That was high energy. So if you have a bolster or a pillow or a blanket, you can grab that. If not, a traditional Shavasana works as well. So I'm just going to take my bolster here and then place it under my legs here and then prep to lay back, just elevating the lower half of my body here as I get into Shavasana and really just soaking up today's practice. So I'm going to go quiet for a little bit as we all rest in our Shavasana. That was definitely a moving meditation. I feel so clear. And as we come out of Shavasana, if you have additional time to sit here, I always encourage you to sit back and relax a little bit more into Shavasana. But if you are coming out with the rest of us, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. If your eyes have been closed, gently open them up and return to your practice. Whew, that felt so good, y'all. I am like bliss like. And then I'm just going to move my bolster here bring it down a little bit so I can actually roll over to my side here to get ready into this fetal position. I always like to sit in before I get all the way up. And then I'm going to push myself up here. I feel so good. And I hope you do too. This practice will really bring some energy. So I hope that you return back to this whenever you feel like, oh, girl, I can really use a jolt of energy. Um, I just appreciate you all for always being here and just supporting me as always. I'm rambling because I feel so grateful after this practice. Like it really does tap into the well-being. So I'll see you next time. And please share this with a friend. I hope they will enjoy it too. Until next time, take care. Bye.